Namaskar. We welcome our learners to the MOOC on Heritage Tourism. It's Module 5. I am Dr. Nivarani Fukan, Associate Professor from the Department of Assamese, Krishnakanta Handike State Open University. Today, we are going to discuss on heritage narratives and interpretation. This is the second video of this particular module on heritage narratives and interpretation. And in the first video, we came to know about storytelling and memory. And in this video, we are going to discuss on constructing narratives in tourism. But before going to the main part of our discussion, we have to discuss a few pertinent points. So now, we start our discussion. Dear learners, in this specific module, that is Module 5, which is related to heritage narratives and interpretation, you will come to know about some primary aspects related to narrative. It is a storytelling part where memory plays an integral part. In other words to say, if there is no storytelling, there is no narrative, no oral source to preserve some past events, memories, incidents, etc. When we talk of heritage tourism, storytelling becomes an integral part of the broader package. As far as construction of narrative is concerned, at this juncture, we need to know what is tourism. In the second decade of the 20th century, Austrian economist Hermann von Schullert defined tourism as the sum total of operators, mainly of economic nature, which directly relate to the entry, stay, and movement of foreigners. Here, let us look closely at a few terms such as economic nature, entry, stay, movement, and foreigners. The term economic nature itself makes it clear that some kind of activities related to economy is going on. The activities are being performed by individuals who are not permanent residents of that place or area. The outsiders who have come to that place on temporary visit or stay. Though they are outsiders, they get associated with the permanent residents of that place. The pattern of their association can be described in the following manner. They make entry into that place and lodge in at some hotels, inns or homestays on rent. They purchase the essential things as like the local people from the market or shops. They accommodate themselves with the local cuisines and other socio-cultural aspects as consumers. These individuals coming to a place from outside, as the above patterns indicate, are termed as tourists. They come temporarily to a place of interest, explore that place, take part in the economic activities of that place as consumers, and go back to their own lands after particular time frames. The terms entry, stay, movement, and foreigners are also being associated with these individuals. They formally make entry into a particular place, stay there for a short period of time, move about that place and see the places of interest there, and leave that place after stipulated time frame. Learners, the definition of tourism that we just talked about is one among many definitions of tourism. There may be other interpretations also. The word tourism comes from the word tour, which traces back to Old French tourner, that is, to turn, to go around, and Old English touronian, that is, to turn on a lat, and ultimately to ancient Greek tournos, that is, a lat or circular tool for drawing circles, which reflects the idea of a circular journey or returning home. The suffix ism denotes the practice, making tourism the practice of making these journeys, often for pleasure. Man is always motivated to do something with a purpose. When we talk of tourism, then the underlying purpose is attainment of pleasure or relaxation. Relaxation of the physical self to the mental faculty of an individual. So far as the physical faculty is concerned, it may be participation in physical activities like sightseeing, participating in sporting events, cultural programs, food extravaganza, adventure trips, etc. When we talk of relaxation or entertainment of the mental faculty, then we may talk about visit to holy shrines, temples, etc. Listening to spiritual talks at religious congregations, listening to or watching musical shows, performances, and taking holistic dip into fine arts. Now let us come to the forms of tourism. There are numerous forms of tourism based on typical features as to how the tourists spend their time in the destination of the tourist spot. Seaside tourism. Countries close to the sea can nurture seaside tourism to the most. Such countries may have breathtaking coastlines which attract tourists to such spots. With increasing opportunities, such coastal towns flourish and boost the economy of that particular country. Mountain tourism. This form of tourism is also equivalent to adventure tourism in a way. The other aspect of this form of tourism is that the hill stations serve as leisure spots for tourists who want to break free from the monotony and hustle and bustle of city life. In her book, Fundamentals of Travel and Tourism, Arpita Mathur has said that the problems faced in mountainous areas such as remoteness, difficulty in assessing the place, insular cultures, wilderness, subsistence lifestyles, seasonal changes, etc., can be molded into economic opportunities for the local people. Tourism activities can yield significant benefits as these areas are labor intensive, have high multiplier effects, and very low level of capital and investment is needed, thereby providing local people with employment opportunities. Sport tourism. Trips taken to watch sporting events is known as sports tourism. Sports tourism is fast gaining popularity and prominence. Major sporting events all around the world has always been attracting sports lovers to watch those events. Traveling to distant lands have become much easier now with all available travel facilities and the innovation of the hospitality industry worldwide. Cultural tourism. Cultural tourism is the mode to showcase a country's rich past and flourishing cultural aspects. Material culture, lifestyle of the local people, history of the place, art, architecture, religion, dance forms, music, styles, etc. All this together showcase the cultural trend of a particular society or country. Tourists both from within the country and outside the country come to that place to enjoy the cultural extravaganza of that place. Health tourism. A new trend that has emerged in tourism is health tourism. This form of tourism has become quite popular in India in recent times. Growing concerns about health-related issues has been responsible for a spurt in resorts offering services such as spas, yoga, aromatherapy, etc. In this regard, we may say about aromatherapy, naturopathy, and other medication which are quite in vogue in South India, in the different states of South India, where large number of people that are the tourists, both from within the country and outside, come to that place, to those spots which can be actually called the hotspots of health tourism. Rural tourism. The rural landscape may act as a calming balm for those professional and workaholic individuals whose hands are always full of time-bound projects and obligations. For these people, the serene, quiet, slow rural life and its numerous landscapes may be the ideal tourist destination where one can shake his mind off burden from his workplace. Such type of tourism benefits rural community economically as well as socially and helps in smooth interaction between the tourists and locals for a more fascinating experience for both parties. Ecotourism. Ecotourism is a new concept as far as the different forms of tourism is concerned. It caters to the need of those tourists who are nature lovers and who believe in the undiluted virgin beauty of nature. Here, the facilitators take care so that the integrity of the ecosystem is not disturbed. Basically, ecotourism is a nature based, ecologically sustainable concept wherein tourism activity is practiced in a rational way so as to avoid degradation of nature. Event and gastronomic tourism. This form of tourism is a blend of fun-filled gaiety and feasting. Here, the receiver at the other end is the enthusiastic tourist, where fun-filled colorful events bring a soothing effect to his eyes and gives him an opportunity to relish his gastronomical passion. Here, an event becomes the goal of the tourist. National festivals and celebrations, sporting events, theater activities, film festivals, flower shows, gastronomical feasts, music concerts, fashion shows, etc. are some of the events that people wish to become a part of. This has given way to a new travel segment that is going strong with every passing year. Shopping tourism. Everyone loves shopping. Some are great shoppers. They would love to pick up anything in the market which catch their fancy. Shopping is a fun activity and bargaining makes the activity more exciting. Some tourists love to visit places for the sake of shopping a variety of goods and souvenirs. This activity enhances the sale of goods, art, and handicrafts of a particular place. Business tourism. Travel undertaken for work-related purposes like meeting, trade shows, training, and networking is known as business tourism. Business tourism, also known as corporate travel or MICE, M-I-C-E, that is, meeting, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, is distinct from leisure travel due to its focus on productivity, learning, and business objectives, driving economic growth and collaboration. Now, what is the economic and cultural significance of tourism? Let's go for it. In her work, Fundamentals of Travel and Tourism, Arpita Mathur has mentioned, travel and tourism accounted for 1.5 trillion US dollar in gross domestic product and 74 million jobs in the year 2004. Travel and tourism indirectly accounted for 4.22 trillion US dollars, that is 10% of the world's GDP indirectly. These industries generated 215 million jobs, that are about 8% of the world's employment. Tourism has played a vital role in the economy of developing countries. Like any other developing country, India is gearing up to emerge as the second fastest growing tourism economy in the world by 2015, with projected 8.8% growth. Year 2007 saw about 5 million tourists who spent nearly 11 billion US dollar. Incredible India campaign also helped India tourism to take a big leap. And let us know about the recent data. In the second decade of the 21st century, the tourism sector was a major global economic engine, providing significant contribution to GDP, job creation, and foreign exchange earnings worldwide. This growth rate continued until the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. When we talk about the cultural significance of tourism, it can be observed that tourism is a very convenient media through which culture too embarks on a significant journey. Culture does not travel in literal terms. It is the spirit of culture that lingers in the mind of a tourist moving about different places, exploring and mingling up with different cultures and people. In such eventful travels, a tourist has always something significant to take back with him from his sojourns. Heritage tourism, meaning. The National Trust for Historic Preservation defines heritage tourism as traveling to experience the places, artifacts, and activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past and present. The motivation behind heritage tourism can include a desire to visit historic battlegrounds, museums, and significant architectural sites, as well as participating in local cultural events or historical reenactments. The three main types of heritage are intangible and natural. The tangible represents physical objects or places, etc. The intangible represents non physical traditions and skills, and the natural represents natural landscapes, biodiversity, thus forming a comprehensive view of inherited legacies from past generations. Now, the inquisitive may ask, is cultural tourism and heritage tourism the same? The answer to this pertinent question will be that cultural tourism and heritage tourism are deeply intertwined. Heritage tourism focuses on specific historical places and artifacts that belongs to the tangible past, while cultural tourism is a broader concept encompassing living traditions, arts, festivals, and contemporary culture that is both intangible and related to the past as well as the present. Now, we are coming to the most important part of our discussion, where we are going to discuss about constructing narratives in tourism. More specifically, to say, we are going to discuss how narratives are woven in relate to heritage tourism. Construction of narratives in heritage tourism. For the enthusiastic and adventurous tourist, a walk around a heritage site, that is, a monument, an old palace, an ancient temple ruins, remnants of a fortress, etc., may ignite his imagination with imaginary stories, visualization of heroic feats by some unknown knight or warrior. This may be the primary condition where a visitor to a heritage site gets motivated to understand the magnificent past or brutal past, which story lies shrouded behind the still and cold remnants. Usually it is the guide who may told the tourist to or around that heritage site, whatever it may be. In the first place, it may be the tourist guide who would narrate the story behind the construction of that heritage structure. It is worthwhile to note that if the particular tourist guide is a local inhabitant of that area where the heritage site is located, then his story may include some local ingredients such as legends passed down through generations located at that heritage site, historical facts related to the site or its construction history, etc. This makes the tour around a heritage site motivating and a stroll down memory lane. If the tourist is a foreigner or a person belonging to another part of the country, then he may be interested to know more about the site. The far-sighted guide may usher him to some bookstall around the vicinity of the site. There, such documents may be available, which explores or narrates more facts and interesting aspects related to that particular heritage site. If the tourist is tech-savvy, then he may inquire or such a store where he may acquire some video plays or audio components or video components or anything related to sound music effect to take back with him as souvenir, where the past is being reenacted by means of multimedia tools through the help of technology. So let us take an example. In Guwahati, we have the Mahapurush Srimanta Shankardev Kalakshetra. It is near the capital area of Assam, Dispur. It is just near the vicinity of Dispur. So there, in the evening, a light and music show it's a regular light and show is being showcased, where different incidents from Assam history, from the Ahom era, are being displayed. So in this way, both the tourists from within the country and outside the country get to know something about the rich historical past of Assam, about the valor of the Assamese soldiers, etc. Again, we come back to storytelling now. Storytelling animates heritage sites, turning them from static locations into dynamic narratives of human experience. How? Let us give some examples. We can take some examples. We can take as examples some historical sites of Assam. We can take, for example, the Ronghor, the Karenghor and the Tolatal Ghor constructed by the Ahom rulers. These historical sites are in the district of Sibsagar in Assam. The Ronghor was originally a place where the Ahom kings sat majestically and watched sporting activities during Bohag Bihu, or in any occasion, whichever or whenever the Ahom monarch wishes. So, in a what to say, the Ronghor of Assam, that is situated in the district of Sibsagar, it to some extent it can be compared to the Roman sporting events and the Roman sporting sites. So, people from far off countries, from Europe, even from Greece, from Rome, when they come to Assam, when they see the Ronghor, they may try to compare it or find some resemblance with those historic places, with those ancient remnants of their past, where once upon a time the Roman rulers watched brutal games and sports. Again, we give an example. These examples are related to dynamic narratives of human experience. There are the palaces. There are located the palaces of the Ahom rulers in Sibsagar. This is the Karenghor, and another one is the Tolatal Ghor, which is located in Gorgaon. So, when a tourist goes to visit those heritage sites, they will touch the walls of those structures. And there will be a tourist guide, or maybe the inquisitive, intellectual tourists may pick up a booklet related to the construction of the Karenghor or Tolatal Ghor. Then when he goes to the pages of that booklet, or when the local guide describes him the construction, when was it constructed, what ingredients were used in the bricks, how the bricks were formed, all those facts, it will remain live in the memory of the tourist. And he may visualize that how come such a long way off from modern technology, and still the bricks which were made and then used in the construction of these historic buildings, these heritage buildings, they are still strong. They're still strong. So this creates some thoughts in the mind of the tourists of the present generation. He may ponder about how come in today's world, in regard to the construction materials, they get destroyed. They get destroyed due to the wear and tear of time. But how this is possible? Yes, to some extent, earthquakes and other natural causes or invasions, at times it destroyed or it harmed the structures, many ancient structure of Assam. But still there's standing the test of time. So in this way, we can justify the saying storytelling animates heritage sites, turning them into static locations into dynamic narratives of human experience. Storytelling in heritage tourism has some ethical dimensions too. These dimensions are whose stories are being told, who is telling them, for what purpose. So, in regard to this, we would say that if heritage tourism solely focuses on glorifying the past, then it misses out a lot of important aspects and tend to be biased. That is why the responsibility of heritage tourism is immense. Authoritative writers are of the view that heritage tourism requires a commitment to diverse storytelling, ensuring that multiple perspectives are represented and that narratives are presented with sensitivity and critical awareness. This may involve incorporating stories from different social classes, genders, ethnic presenting viewpoints, offering a more complete and nuanced picture of the past. Here to history, to Assam history. At one point of time during the Ahom monarchy, there were some, so these conflicting with one another due to their self-interests. And it so happened that at one time a particular Ahom nobleman, he was a shrewd type of person, and he was an autocrat. Some historians mention him as Jolombota. And many other aspects also. And because the family of that nobleman was castigated by the historians, and perhaps those facts were true about his family lineage. What he did, that nobleman, he destroyed a lot of history books. When the present scholars try to delve into Assam history, some pages of the rich past may be missing due to this rash act of burning the history books written by many scholars. So, when there is a conflict zone, there are different opinions, but if both the opinions are preserved, all the opinions are preserved, then in the near future or in the future times, future generations can make a clear idea of the past concerning some specific incidents. So that's why heritage tourism may give a boost to such aspects. So learners, we have come to the end of this discussion and to the end of this MOOC also. This module of the MOOC. So we have come to know a lot about heritage narratives and its interpretation. And in the course of our discussion, we have come to know what is story writing, what is storytelling, and what is the relation of storytelling and the memory. And as we are from the northeast region of India, We have a diverse cultural milieu. And so, from the point of heritage tourism, we have lot to offer. It's not that it's only there in northeast of India, but our entire country is a storehouse of immense knowledge. So, in relate to Assam and the other parts of the northeastern region, other states, our heritage speaks a lot. In each and every particle, in each and every site that is related to heritage tourism, we have a beautiful story to tell. And in this particular module, we have come to know how to read the story, how to understand the facts and the relevance and the historical importance of the particular heritage site. So, learners, in our next module, we have to offer you some more exciting facts, some more interesting aspects related to heritage tourism. And now, with gratitude, we would like to say thank you to you for being with us. Namaskar.